We are thrilled to have Kolton Moore on our show tonight of Kolton Moore and the Clever Few. Welcome to Sisters in Song.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Yeah. Tell us where you're coming to us from today.
So I am in Poolville, Texas, which is a huge metropolitan area of about 67, I think, is the population of the town. But it's just west of Fort Worth, about an hour west of Fort Worth. So we're in like kind of central North Texas.
Very cool. Okay, I have to ask about the
Yeah.
hat. It says Chiefs Trading Post. Is that a reference
Yeah.
to your favorite team, the Chiefs?
No, no, it's not. It's one of my good buddies. He's a silversmith and leather worker. It's his brand. He's got a cool shop in Weatherford, Texas, and he does. It's like a cool old Indian trading post, and he's got turquoise and silver and leather and lots of vintage stuff. And so yeah, I try to support him and wear his stuff around.
Love it. Whenever I see the Chiefs, I have to ask.
Yeah, are you guys in Kansas City area?
We're in Omaha, so
Oh
about three
wow.
hours away, but it's in our opinion, the best team, but also the
Yep.
closest team. So
Yep. 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 I get it.
Okay, so we'll get going
yep.
picking your about music. We know that your sixth studio album will be coming out this fall. That's really cool and exciting. Tell us how
Yeah.
that differs from your other albums and how it came to be.
I guess it came to be just from almost 15 years of songwriting. But yeah, it's just I'm stoked about it because I feel like it's our most I don't know if realistic's the best word, but definitely like it feels like you're in the room with us. We didn't do any it's kind of a no frills record for us, and it's very grown up. It's and I think that's just where I'm at in life. I got a kid now, married, not heavy on the extracurricular activities, so it's just kind of like I grew up and so did the songs. But yeah, we did it with Matt Ross-Spang in Memphis, Tennessee, and me and my four bandmates went up there, and next thing you know, 5 days later, we've got this record, and we're all stoked with it. I can't wait to get the whole thing out. We've got the first single out as of I guess 3 weeks ago now, and we've got another single coming out next week. And yeah, then we got another one coming out in August, and then the record comes out in late September. But I think it's just really that's the best way to describe it. I think it's like a grown up record. I mean, we've had five other chances to get it right. Not saying that we haven't, because I love all the other records, but this seems like to me, it's like, all right, this is what we were trying to do. This was the goal all along. We finally found the sound. We finally found the groove. So I'm excited to get it out.
Well,
Very
I
cool.
I love the new singles,
Yeah,
so
me
I'm
too.
also excited to hear the new album.
Thanks.
Yes. Hey, gotta
Thanks.
ask, always gotta ask this. Are you bringing it out in vinyl? Because we're huge
Yeah.
vinyl collectors.
Yeah, yeah. Vinyl pre-order is live right now.
Oh,
And
cool.
it's
Well, we're
it's awesome. The vinyl package is totally rad. I wouldn't call myself a vinyl collector, but like I'm looking at my vinyl collection now, and I think I'm becoming that. It's getting pretty strong. But yeah, the vinyl is like a ruby red color. It's got a super cool center label there. And then the artwork is, in my opinion, I mean maybe it's biased, but and it's not, it could be a cool album cover or poster or whatever, but it's just a neat style. The guy named Michael McCarley did that, and the front and back is just, it's awesome. It goes well with the theme of the record's called "A Place That I Call Home," and I think it really hits home with the name of it.
Very,
very
very
cool.
cool.
So hangs
Yeah,
up, Zoom call, goes orders, pre-order.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right.
So going back, tell us how you got started on this whole thing. How did you become a musician and get started in music?
Kind of by accident. I graduated high school in 2011, so that would have been like May 2011. Come mid-June 2011, there was the Fort Worth radio station that plays Texas country or Americana, whatever you want to call it. They put on a competition. It was called the Pickin Party, I think, and I really didn't. I knew like four chords on the guitar, and I'd written, one and a half songs at that point in time. And I played the one song that I had done for some buddies, and we got together and we're having some beers or whatever, and I played that song, and they're like, "Man, you got to go to the Pickin Party. You would win that thing." And so finally, I think it was like a 6 week long thing, and everybody, every week they've got 10 contestants, and then by the end of it, they've got a final winner. And so I went maybe week 5 or 6 and ended up winning the whole thing. And I got to open for Sean McConnell, which was already a huge influence of mine. And
Yeah.
so that night, that crowd was probably, there was probably 400 or 500 people. It felt like 500,000 to me at that time. But it put me in front of some people that started my career, I guess is what you call it. But yeah, I met my first booking agent that night, and he started booking just little bar gigs and like open mic night type things. He would, if he saw one that was open, he would say, "Hey, you got to go do this." So yeah, I met him there, and then I met our tour manager of 10 years. Sorry, these flies are crazy here in my studio. Um, I met our my tour manager. I met him that night. He was tour managing the band that was opening for Sean. I was like, I got to get up there and play 2 songs, and then there was an opener, and then Sean played. So we met Josh that night. Come to find out, he would tour manage us for almost 12 years after that. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, that's where it all started. It was really just an accident, and I guess 2000 by mid 2012, a year later, I had the band, the Clever Few, and two of those guys are still with me today. And then we've gone through a couple of bass players and finally have a bass player as of the past couple of years. That's just he's incredible and sings harmonies and plays bass synth. And then we added a fifth band member, keyboard player and percussionist. To the mix a couple of years ago. So we were a 4 piece for a long time, and then we finally stepped up, and we're a grown up 5 piece band now.
We
Yeah,
love Sean McConnell. He's actually been on our show before.
Yeah.
He's the coolest guy and a big
nice.
inspiration to us
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
So love
Yeah,
him.
Yeah.
he's
Well,
incredible.
talking about your band, we know you have been a band for a while and toured extensively. What's your motivation and inspiration to keep going as a band, to write songs together and all of that?
One of our things was always, as we started recording and playing live, was like, let's be the best we can live. Let's obviously make great records, but let's have fans leaving the live show saying, "Man, that sounds better than the records." And to this day, still we get that, and I still preach that to the guys, like, let's play lights out every single night. And if I could, I don't hate the studio as much as I used to. I used to kind of get I don't know, maybe like studio anxiety but now I enjoy it because I've learned to enjoy the process more, getting a little older, and like I love the process of writing songs and love the process of recording them. But used to, it was like that in the 60 or 90 minutes we had on stage was our time to shine. So we got up there and gave it our all. But inspiration, I mean, I don't even know. It just comes from so many things, life life that I've lived and life that some of the band members have lived. Like that's where a lot of the songs come from. Anymore, I've tried to exercise my songwriting skill with co-writing. I'd never done that for the first this new record that's coming out. It's the first time I've ever co-written with anyone. Which is I've got there's like 2 or 3 songs on there that I co-wrote with my guitar player Ryan Wilcox. But we started making it a weekly or bi-weekly thing of like, let's get together and just write songs together. So that was kind of some inspiration on this new record, was getting a different point of view, which was cool because it kind of opened up a whole new can of worms. And I've tried to start like exercising my fictional songwriting, like making up stories in my head and being able to like not really build characters, but just build the ideas, around a fictional story. So that's been fun. But yeah, I kind of draw inspiration from everywhere. I like to hunt and fish and be out in the wild, and so I draw a lot of inspiration from that. And yeah, just kind of, I don't know. To me, it just comes out of nowhere. It's never it's never it's not like one certain thing, you know.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
Do you ever get writer's block? And if you do, how do you get out of it?
I don't even like to talk about that because I'm pretty I think I'm pretty good about not getting that, but just as soon as I say that, now I'm not going to write a song for another two
I'll just
years. So
pretend like I
let's
never
not.
asked. We'll pretend like I never asked.
I
I
know
never
that.
said that.
Well, how about on another that same kind of vein? What's the hardest thing about being a musician?
Um, and probably just it's a good question. The fact that you're getting up in front of people, you know, all the time and feeling for me it's kind of feeling worthy in a couple different ways. Like feeling worthy enough to, man, not many people truly can say that they make a living playing music.
Yeah.
So why do I get to do that? You know, so I think about that pretty often. And then getting up and being like, man, am I putting on the show that everybody's coming to see? Like, am I if I am is my best good enough, I guess. So it's kind of a mental thing. That's kind of the hardest part for me. And then knowing what's next, you know, is there going to be another record? Is there going to be what's, you know, what are shows going to look like next year? You know, are we gonna, you know, make enough money to be able to stay afloat? You know, like there's just a lot of what ifs. But
Yeah.
that's with everything. That's with everything.
Yeah.
And you know, we've been fortunate. We're going next year, I guess will be year 15 for us. So we're doing something halfway
That's
right, I
right.
guess, or getting really lucky, you know.
That's a big long run.
That
That's
is.
fantastic.
Yeah.
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 So for folks who have not heard your music, how would you describe it?
In one word, I think one word would describe it as just real. We try to be as real as we can. Like I said, like the records aren't they're not real flashy. We tried that on maybe the last full length record was that was as flashy as we got, and it was still, you know, super raw. We always record we record live, so we're all in the room together, and we track pretty much everything just like that, and then we go back and do a little bit, but it's not a lot of records today are recorded, you know, one instrument at a time, and I think that sucks a lot of the life out of it because you don't that's not how music was intended to be made, was layering things and then having a finished product. It was like, let's get four or five cats in a room and make a song, you know? So yeah, I think if there was one word, I think it's just real, you know, just I try to be as honest as I can too. And in my songwriting, just wear my heart on my sleeve. And I've never had a problem with doing that. I've been asked that. My wife asks me that all the time. She's like, is it not like, you know, we've got a song about our daughter on this next record that is my favorite song I think that I've ever written, and it's actually the next single that's about to come out next week. And we were talking about the music video, watching the music video for the first time the other day, and both crying, and it just like she's like, man, it's not hard for you to let loose to the world, and it's like it is, but you know, in another on the other hand, it's kind of like getting to show a little piece of what we get to experience every day, you know, because we do have in our eyes, like a special little kid that gets to travel the world with us and go to rock and roll shows all the time. And my wife and daughter are on the road with me. I don't really play any shows without them. Like every once in a while we'll go and I'll play a show with the band that they can't make, but they're always on the bus with us. And it's just, I don't know. It's abnormal. Not many folks are doing that, but I make it a point to do it. Keeps us all sane.
Yeah,
I love that.
Me
Yeah.
too.
And
Yeah.
I love that idea of everything of it being real because it's showing your life and your with your family. And then when people listen to that, they can relate it to their own
Yes.
life and their own family or their kid
Yeah.
or however that goes. I love that. That's fantastic. If you see a song from start to finish, do you start with lyrics? Do you start with melody? How does that kind of play out for you?
Generally, these days it's kind of like a mix of melody and lyrics together. I'll come up with a line and then immediately kind of sing it to a melody or a couple of melodies and find a way that it fits and fits into the melody. And then if I don't have a guitar with me, when I get to my guitar, I can sit down and figure it out. But like I was saying, this record, there was a lot of intentional writing, which was kind of abnormal for me because I'm not really an intentional writer. I don't sit down with the intention to write a song. I'll sit down with my guitar and come up with a cool lick or riff or whatever, and then maybe a song comes out of that. But historically speaking, in the other records, it was just there was no intention of writing a set of songs to become a record. It just kind of happened. But with this record, I ended up, I don't know, we probably on the co-writing thing, there might have been like 6 or 8 songs that we co-wrote. Only 2 of them made the record, but and then the other ones, I've got a studio. That's where I'm at my house now, and I spent a lot of time in here intentionally trying to write songs. Um, not trying to sit down and write number one hits, but just had ideas and thoughts and just writing songs about those. So we took like 27 or 28 songs into the studio and narrowed it down to 10.
Wow.
So we got another record that's ready to go. We just got to get back into the studio. Uh, but yeah, I don't even know what your question was. I forgot now, but maybe I answered it.
You did answer it.
Lyric melody first.
Yeah, you
did
answered it.
Yeah, yeah,
But it's
yeah,
your goal, right?
yep, yep.
So we know you travel a lot, you tour a lot. How do you kind of maintain physical and mental well-being while doing all of that? And I know part of it you said that you keep your wife and daughter come on the road with you, which is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely the mental part of it. And sometimes that's hard mentally. I mean, with a 3-year-old, that's nothing is easy. But she's a rock star herself, and so is my wife, and we just kind of all keep each other sane. But sometimes in like an insane way, of keeping each other sane. And she helps lighten things up. I mean, when we're on a 30-day tour, 35-day tour, and we're 18, 20 days in and everybody's worn thin and emotions are can fly easily, and she runs down the hallway of the bus and says something silly and just kind of brightens everything up. And the guys are all great at accepting the fact that my wife and daughter are with us and they love them, and it's just all like a big family. But yeah, and then physical, I don't know, I just try to eat good. I don't really have time to with the family, and we always try to do like if we've got a day off or a long time in between getting into a town and sound check or load in or whatever, we try to go to zoos or parks or whatever. And so we don't really have time to work out or whatever, but
Yeah.
try to eat right. We're definitely that's been a conversation a lot lately. We're getting ready to announce our fall tour next week as well. And we're going to be out for like 35 days and we were talking about Aaron, my drummer, and I were talking about like, man, everybody needs to be on like a strict tour diet of eating, great food and staying healthy and all that. None of us are pillars of health by any means, but I think we're a little better off than some bands. We've toured with some bands and have friends in some bands that's like, man, I couldn't do 30 days like that. But
Yeah, that can be a long haul
Oh
if
my
you're
gosh.
not paying
yeah.
attention to what you're eating. And well, and I love the idea of your whole band being like a family too. I think
Oh
that's
yeah.
fantastic. Do you guys all write? You mentioned some collaboration between you guys. Has it always been that way, or has it been like you have been the front man and it's kind of your ideas, or has it been a collaboration from the get-go?
No, it's always been, I mean, I am the front man, but I don't look at it as like I'm the band and you guys are the hired hands. It's
Yeah.
everybody has, it's a collaborative effort recording for sure and building the songs,
Mhm.
but yeah, I mean, I've written up until this record, I've 100% written all the songs with no help really at all. And then this new record that's coming out has 2 co-writes with Ryan, my guitar player, but no co-writes. Everybody writes their own parts. Aaron, the drummer, writes his parts. Sam, the keyboard player, writes his parts, and Matt,
Yeah.
the bass player, writes his. But as far as the lyrics go, it's never been like we're at rehearsal here at the studio and I've got a couple of lines and I'll be like, hey, what do you guys think about this? And we don't write like that. And there's some bands that do, and I think that's cool. I'd like to try it, but when you don't have, or when you have, I don't know, it's kind of tough for me because I'm pretty kind of a stickler on how I write songs, and so yeah, it might be tough for me. It probably wouldn't be for the rest of the guys, but for me, it might be a little weird.
Should we ask our four questions?
We should. Yeah.
All right. So we ask everyone that comes on the show our four questions. The
Okay.
first one is, what was your first gig, which you kind of alluded to already?
Yep.
And what is your favorite gig that you've done so far? So you can just skip to favorite. 'Cause we know what the first one was.
Yeah. So the first one was opening for Sean. My favorite gig, man. We've played some awesome rooms recently. We just got off tour. What's today? Tuesday or Wednesday? Um,
Tuesday, I think so.
Tuesday. So we got
Yes,
home off
definitely.
of a 14-day tour with Robert Earl Keen on Saturday, and Robert plays. He's at the point in his career where he almost exclusively plays theaters, these set down theaters, and most of them we were out on the West Coast, or we went Colorado, Arizona, and then we were out on the West Coast in California, and we played a theater in Monterey. I can't even let me think about this. The Golden State Theater in Monterey, California, and it was built in like late 1800s, early 1900s, and it's just exactly what you think of when you think of a theater. You know, the big cathedral style, painted ceiling, all the gold everywhere, and just a really cool room. And the sound was great. And I mean, I've played lots of bar gigs or small venue gigs where it's been sold out or packed house, and the band's played lights out, and those are, I can't even remember all of them because I was probably not sober for most of them, but that's a gig that I'll never forget playing in a room like that, because anymore it's almost like I know the band's going to play great, and I know the songs are going to sound exactly the way they should, but it's my favorite gigs are how good it sounds to me in my ears. And when you're playing in a big room that sounds great, the better it sounds out there, the better it sounds to me, and it's just I can put on a better performance, and I can sing better, and I can play better. And so yeah, long story short, I guess that's been one of my favorite gigs that I can remember as of lately, at least.
Yeah, very
Sounds
cool.
like an amazing place.
And we're excited
Yeah.
because we'll be at Americana Fest, and so will you.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah, yeah,
So we'll make sure to come and check you
check
out.
the show
check you
out.
guys out.
Right.
for sure.
Okay, question number 2. Who are your influences?
Um, Lots. I'm gonna narrow it down to like a couple of different genres, or maybe like one person per genre. So I grew up, I guess, listening to country music, or like country and gospel. So Alan Jackson was always somebody that when I was riding in the truck with my dad, we had an Alan Jackson tape going on. So Alan Jackson, I would say, definitely influenced me. And then when I got a little bit older, I started listening to rock and metal. So I listened to bands like Under Oath and The Used, and
Yeah.
maybe I don't know if you guys have heard of them, but yeah,
Yep, the
totally,
units we
totally
love.
different, totally different than Alan Jackson. And then I got introduced to what then was called Texas country, and I guess still is, but it's kind of morphed into Americana or whatever. But Randy Rogers and Mickey and the Motor Cars and bands like that. So they hold a place in the influential role for me. And then I got introduced to bands like Wilco and Jeff Tweedy and people like that. And so they also hold a place in the whole influential pot that exists for me and my writing. But it comes from a lot of different places. And I think if you listen to the records, if you started from the Love Me Instead EP, the very first one we put out, and then went to Dear Mom and How Did I Get Here, and whatever the other ones are even called. I think you could see that now that I have explained it. I think you kind of see a little bit of like the metal side, and some of the older songs, and even like our self-titled record. There's a lot of heavy stuff and drop D and kind of open tunings that portray that metal part of my life. So, but yeah, long
Love it.
answer. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I love it. It's perfect.
Are you listening
Yeah.
to anything currently on repeat?
Um, yeah. Let's see. Terrible with remembering like names, but I love
Uh,
Maggie Rogers. She's a
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sure you guys know Maggie, but uh I love Maggie Rogers. So anything Maggie Rogers I've been listening to that latest record she put out was killer. Um Listening to a song that I heard while we were on tour with Robert Earl Keen that I had never heard of his, and it's called um it's maybe called Not a Drop of Rain. But it's a really cool song. And I've been listening to that one the past few mornings on my morning walks. And what else? I still listen to a little bit of metal, and there's a band called President that is new, and they're nobody knows who they are because they wear masks, which is crazy. I know it sounds weird, uh, but they're awesome, and they're it's cool because they're everybody knows that they're famous. They all play for other bands, maybe other famous
oh,
bands, but they formed this super band, and then they wear masks, and they have like this concept, of yeah. You'll just have to look them up. You probably
Yeah.
will. You probably hate the music, but I've been jamming them. They've only got like 2 or 3 songs out, but they're pretty cool.
totally looking.
Okay, I gotta ask, because did you ever see the Used live?
No, I didn't. Man, I would
Oh,
have killed to though.
we used to go to Warp Tour, and we have a running
Yeah,
joke because Bert would flip to every
yeah,
show, and every time I missed it.
Looking down or down,
really.
like I missed it every time.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
So,
I don't. Do they still play anymore?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know for sure. I'll
I
look that
I
up
want
too.
to say I saw like maybe a 20-year anniversary tour of the record, the main one with the heart on it. I don't
Uh-huh.
remember what it was
Yeah.
called, but that record. I think I saw they did a tour of that maybe like last year or year before, but yeah, maybe one day if they're still playing,
Yeah,
I'd
they're
love to
still
see them.
playing.
I
He's
know
still
Under
doing
Oath,
the
Under
flip.
Oath is still playing. I follow
Yeah.
them on Instagram and still see them making music, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Check it out on YouTube and see if you can find him doing the flip, because he literally did it every show. And I missed
Yeah,
it every show. At least every show we saw. Yeah.
nice.
Okay, so
funny.
question number 4 of our big 4 is, what advice would you give to new musicians and or songwriters?
Um, let's see. A couple of different things. One, if you're serious about it and you want to do it, just stay at it. I don't know that we have, uh, you know, per se made it in quotations. We've been doing this for almost 15 years, but it's finally these past few years started to catch on. And we took a 4-year hiatus and better yet, gave up and then came back at it, and and things were better, before we left when we came back, because it just takes time for people to hear the music. You see all these kind of overnight success bands and folks, now with social media, and that's real. That's a real thing, but it's not. That doesn't happen for everybody,
Yeah.
and that's not just as if you put out one TikTok video or Instagram video and you don't get a bajillion likes on it, that doesn't mean that you're not good or you're not going to make it, So just stay at it. If you're serious about it and want to write and play music for a living, just keep your head down. And then also, yeah, I guess that's it. That kind of encompassed what my second point was, but yeah, I think that'd be a good one. Just stay at it.
Love it. That's great advice.
That was another thing, I guess that was my other point when you asked what you could tell up and coming guys is like if you even if you aren't having any success, just enjoy it, because I went a lot of years not I wasn't not enjoying playing music and being on the road, but I definitely wasn't sitting back and being like, man, not everybody's getting to do this. I wasn't getting to kind of just take time to realize what we were doing, and that's one thing. Just like sit back and soak it all in. We were kids traveling the country in a 15 passenger van, and I remember some of those times, but I don't remember enough of them. I wish I remember more. So
Yeah.
that's another thing that I would tell some young and up and comers, just like just take time and soak it all in. Good,
Okay, it's
good.
time for a shameless plug.
Yes.
Where can we find your music? Where can we find you on social media? Bandcamp, anything that your website, whatever you got out there.
Yeah, I mean anything. The easiest way would go to Google GOOGLE.com and just type my name in KOLTONMOORE, and it'll all come up on there. It's really cool. It's been around for like maybe 50, 60 years. Google has, but no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, that I've got Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, and there's a TikTok, and I don't run a lot of those things. I run the Instagram most of the time, but the Facebook and the TikTok and the Twitter, one of my other guys does that. But it's all pictures of us and videos of us, and our website is just koltonmoore.com, and we've got the vinyl pre-orders going for the new record on there, so you can pre-order that. And cool thing, we've never really done a vinyl pre-order. We've done vinyls of a couple of records, but we've never done a pre-order, and so we were ahead of the game enough with this one. Like we ordered them early enough where they're going to be in like a couple weeks before the record releases digitally. So we're going to ship them out ASAP. As soon as we get them, anybody that pre-orders them is going to receive that record about a week to 2 weeks before anyone else hears it. So I think that's going to be neat. I know if I was, if you know, a band that I love was putting out a record and I saw that, I would be like, yeah, absolutely, I'll listen to that record 2 weeks ahead of time and just hear it on vinyl, you know, kind of in the raw form. See how we've got that going on there, and then we're about to release fall tour in support of the record next week. So the next single comes out next week. It's called Strawberry Thief. You guys are probably the only people to know that. And whoever listens to this, and yeah, we're putting out the tour, and we're playing some states and cities we've never played. We're going all the way up to New York, and I think that's our furthest north point that we're going, and then we're kind of working across and zigzagging all over the place. But it's more or less going to be like the east, northeast. So yeah, lots of big things going on, and like I said earlier, a couple more singles, and then the record will be out in September. So
Very, very cool. Yeah.
We so appreciate
Oh
you
my
taking
gosh,
the time
yes.
out, especially because you're with your family, to meet
Yeah.
with us tonight. It has been a
no
pleasure
worries.
to meet you, and we have enjoyed this chat.
Absolutely.
Good.
Plan to see you at Americana Fest.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you guys for having me on. I appreciate it.